Hello everybody, and welcome to Link to the Past Randomizer Crosskeys Tournament. Losers Bracket Round 1, dataplet versus AsclepiosRod. I think I said that right. Commentating for us, we have Cool Papa Bell 2282 and Jay Coper. Say hello everybody.
Hello.
Hello, hello. How's everybody doing this evening?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to see some more cross keys because, you know, there's not enough of it going around these days, but this should be a great matchup tonight.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I don't know hardly anything about AsclepiosRod other than the name is really interesting. Dataplet is probably most infamous around here for forfeiting a lot, but I doubt he's going to do that tonight. He's a pretty capable player when he actually does finish with. I don't know if you have any thoughts.
Yeah, none in particular. I just know that this has been a crazy tournament so far. We went to all that trouble to seed everybody, and then pretty much it all went right out the window because it's pretty impossible to predict who's going to win any of these matches. So should be an interesting one in any case.
Yeah. AsclepiosRod played Waterlow, I think is how you pronounce that name, who's a pretty capable player. In the first round and lost. Ooh, bombs and Link South. That is nice. Load off from my mind. Very first thing I want in any seed is bombs. Dataplet is still not. He's going south and not checking the south of Link South spot right away. So looks like bombs do not affect their opener whatsoever. They would affect mine dramatically. So, yeah, and dataplet lost to Breve, I guess is the name in the first round. You know what? I think that both of their first round opponents were French. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, I think that's right. But yeah, dataplet is doing the somewhat standard opening of fake flippering up to the witch's hut, and then you can check this drop down over here and do a hula hand glitch.
Yeah. Looks like we got the sink at the castle. I did not see what that small key was there.
Ice Palace, I think. So yeah, normally that hula hand glitch is mostly so you can buy bombs as soon as you can find them, which yeah, is a little bit less of a priority when you find bombs right away.
I was tapped out. Did we have anything good in the back of escape there?
I missed it as well. I was just calling up the tracker page because I couldn't see the trackers that we have running. So
That's the exact same thing that I was doing.
Professional commentators.
Yeah.
Does not look like much of anything on AsclepiosRod's side.
Okay, so just a little bit of money and more bombs, which are both good things to have early.
This is a good time to shout out our trackers, though. Terry J and Valady, thank you very much. And yeah, both of our runners just kind of swapping places with each other, as dataplet is going to go ahead and finish off the back of escape drop down here. This is a really annoying spot for Sanctuary to be, because you don't really have any good save and quit points to start from, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's barely a reason to ever start from the Sanctuary when you have it here. So, pretty much they're always going to be saving quitting from Link's house until we save the old man. finally checked that place south of Link. I think the Rod, I'm just going to call him Rod, might have checked that already. Seems much less of a mouthful to go with Rod. Oh, dataplet checking the southeast of Link's house spots. The Hotel Mario meme in effect there. Nothing
Yeah.
on the island.
I was going to say, Rod, changing up the routing a little bit on the fly. It's just going to walk over to Cac across the north side of the world. A little different than usual, but makes sense with these bad save and quit points, as we said.
Yeah, we got eastern southeast of Link. And of course, dataplet answering the question of whether he's going to dive it with at least one chest. And likely 4.
And we see on A-Rod's side, the Ganon drop-down is behind the Lumberjacks, so AGA 1 will be required.
Yep, that means we're going to have to find 2 AGA Tower small keys and the boots, and those are all that we know is required. And wow, dataplet's play to dive eastern has paid off with the Moon Pearl. So that's big. That could be the race if Rod doesn't get there for a long time.
Yeah, he's not really gone in that direction yet. I think he checked Light World Hype Cave on his way to do the fake flipper, but that was all in the sort of eastern Light World part of the world. So we will see if he dips eastern when he gets done with Kakariko.
Got the uncle here. Still looking for the well, I believe. I didn't actually see what was at the sanctuary either, but
we actually saw the well at Sanctuary, so that one's going to be glove locked.
All right. So that'll be a big priority once we get a glove. Pod key, that's nice to have too. Interesting that it's link blocked, I guess.
Yeah, dataplet doing a nice job. Those are not the hardest dark rooms, but on 3 hearts, not a lot of margin for error, and did very well getting through those quickly. And as usual, those 50-50 bomb bushes not paying off the way they're supposed to. Ooh, nice refill hut here, though, for dataplet.
Small key in the lumberjack, and it is for Castle Tower. Well, that's 1 down, 1 to go. Quick peek at race game here. Just 10 arrows. I've got an early spiral cave sighting. It's always kind of torturous. Small key for Tower of Hera.
Yeah, finding all the small keys that we all hate to get.
So, dataplet found the castle, and he's going right in to the back. This is, of course, not in logic without the Hyrule Castle small key, but usually people will just go ahead and do it if if they got resources to do it, and the sanctuary drop is not in a bad spot. Which it isn't in this case. We've already seen the back of escape from both players.
A very well practiced bomb escape from dataplet as Rod finds the old man cave. So once we get him rescued, we'll have a much better save and quit point.
Yeah, I would definitely predict a lot of save and quits to old man once we get that taken care of, which will probably happen as soon as we get up to Death Mountain. Oh, dataplet might want to keep that guard alive, I don't know. Alright. Looks good. He should be able to death ward if he wants.
Geez, and 2 more connectors in Kakariko. One end of Bumper Cave and Hookshot Cave, both available.
Yeah. Obviously we don't have the tools to go through Bumper Cave yet. Hookshot Cave we can go through, but not get the items until we get Hookshot or Boots for 1+. Dataplet remembering that he had his restock hut here, so he's going to just go ahead and fill up his bombs right away. And the rats are also dropping bombs. It's convenient. I have to imagine that dataplet is going to be a little more eager for taking connectors than Rod will be, considering dataplet has that pearl.
Yeah, the early pearl, I mean, you don't really complain about getting it out of the way, finding it right away, but it can sort of cause problems, because once you get Dark World access, you're probably still going to have a bunch of places in the Light World that you haven't checked yet. So it really opens up a lot of the world at once, which can sometimes be a problem.
Yeah, that all just boils down to routing luck a lot of times in the end, so...
And especially with this Kakariko setup that we have with so many potential connectors in here, and such a long walk to get back here, there could be an earlier connector that one runner decides to take more or less at random and gets a lead out of somehow.
Oh, we saw both ends of Bumper Cave. That's the bottom right there. The blacksmith. I didn't see the top.
Yeah, the top is Chicken Hut, I think.
And Rod's really got the setups down for those bombs. I mean, a lot of people do. It's not that, not that difficult or exceptional to have those bomb setups for escape down. But you can tell that you've at least practiced them a little. I think dataplet's bomb escape was more functional as much as anything.
Yeah, Crosskeys makes you learn a lot of weird little strats and bomb jumps and things that pretty much don't come up in any other mode. The bomb escape is mostly only if you play a lot of standard seeds.
Yeah. Some of the bomb jumps in this are really easy too. Like the one in the back of Skullwoods and the one at the Turtle Rock Big Chest. You might see people do those things, and I don't know if they look intimidating in the least, but they are definitely not. Oh man, Rod is buying bombs. One house before the restock, I think.
It's always the way it goes.
Well, saving time in there, I guess. So it'll be interesting to see how Rod decides to finish out their route here. I think they're going to go ahead and do... oh, they're going to go through Hero Castle.
Yeah, this is a reasonable move to check this out since they're right here. Alright, they unfortunately will not be able to get back.
So ending up at Pod, not able to re-enter. Bunny can't pick up the monkey to even re-enter if we wanted to pay 110 rupees to go backwards, which would seem a little silly to me. But, yeah, Arad is going to walk this out with the hope that maybe something awesome like the Moon Pearl is at the pyramid, but that's clearly not going to happen since we know it's in Eastern Palace. So I think the best thing that could probably happen for Rod is getting the bow and a Eastern big key so that they can finish Eastern and not have to double dip it, which dataplet will obviously have to do now. If it's required.
Yeah, and Asclepios unfortunately finding 3 items in caves there that he can't pick up as a bunny.
Yeah, Dark Flute Flap is definitely the most time-consuming check there, if you're going to go to the pyramid, so it's often a little debate for me whether to skip it.
Yeah, and certainly with the item caves that he's found, he'll be back in this area once he gets the Moon Pearl, so...
What cave did we see there? I didn't catch that.
I think we saw Waterfall Cave and Graveyard Ledge.
Okay. Alright, so now they're covering each other's tracks, and Rod is about to find the Eastern Palace right here, so we'll just see if they decide to dive in as well. You cannot enter an entrance with Kiki following you, but Kiki won't follow Bunny, and if Kiki does follow you, you can get rid of Kiki by screen transitioning, mirroring, or getting hit. So he's just a minor inconvenience.
And it looks like Asclepios will be getting that Moon Pearl in just a second here.
Yeah, obviously good news for them. Maybe a little annoying that they've seen that stuff in the pod area and will have to backtrack to get there, but not the worst time loss. See what dataplet's gonna pick here now.
Yeah, I think he's headed back toward... Yeah, I was gonna say, I think he's headed back through Spiral Cave.
That's fun. Everyone loves an early bomb Spiral Cave with no mirror in hand, so something we might have to do again later. But it is an item, of course. A little early on the bomb there. I have faith that dataplet's going to get this done. Just a matter of how many bombs it might take. And it looks like he's through.
Yeah, I was going to say, when AsclepiosRod took the Hyrule Castle entrance, this one seemed a little bit more tempting to me just because of this guaranteed item at the end.
Alright, that leads us southeast of the bomb shop there, which means we'll be able to see our Stumpy and Digging Game items, or not Digging Games. Yeah, Digging Game. Sorry. Oh, mini boulder cave. Getting a little low on bombs, and dataplet takes a death. That is really unfortunate.
Yeah, deaths on both sides. AsclepiosRod was just a little bit of health short of being able to grab the anti-fairy chest in the Eastern Palace that had a pod small key in it. But that hurts a lot for dataplet because he will have to find a path through the Dark World to get back there anytime soon.
Yeah, he probably doesn't immediately want to go back through Spyro. But there are better connectors to find, like to Bumper Ledge, and that would also get into the same area. So just gonna be more time until he gets there. And dataplet has found the bottom of Paradox Cave, which we won't be able to do anything with until we get the mirror. Might just need to find a different entrance to Paradox Cave. That is often the case. Looks like Rod is continuing their route all the way over to Eastern, and we found Hera at Sahasrahla.
And we do have that Hera small key already, but of course no fire source to actually get the item out of the basement.
Dataplet living dangerously here. I like the death warp there in Hera to save this, save the bomb on the way out. Maybe even a little faster, not sure. But yeah, the ice rod in the back of Hera there, which is, you know, not something that they're going to need anytime soon, but nice to have in case we do need it. We have no idea what any of our crystals or pendants are. I think the meme would be that a Sphere of Zero ice rod would mean that Trinex is not required, but or that Turtok is a pendant at least. Oh, hey, there's our Bumper Cave connector. Just $300 on the Bumper Ledge.
Yeah, would be nice to have the mirror right now to be able to check the Light World entrance, but at the very least, knowing where that is means we can come back to it easily later. There's our other end of Hookshot Cave as well, so another connector into the Dark World from Kakariko.
Yeah, dataplet following right in Rod's footsteps, so he gets his ice rod and will almost certainly be following that connector at Eastern and doing a lot of the same exact stuff in just moments from now. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we're definitely going to see our runners tested here, as they're both going to be in the Dark World on 3 or 4 hearts and green mail.
Yeah, I think this is something that happens to a lot of Crosskeys players, though it's just something you have to be used to. This is maybe the toughest room to deal with on those conditions. Is dataplet not going to jump down? That would shock me if he didn't jump down. Okay. He gave it some thought, though. Maybe he was just making notes. Not sure. Alright, looks like Rod's got this. As long as the Gibdo doesn't spawn in front of the door. Oh my goodness. I don't know what that guy is doing sometimes. Oh, look at that. Nice refill before getting Death Warp. But
yeah, what can you do? Yeah, expect we'll see probably a couple of Death Warps here as Asclepios tries to keep his health up and taking advantage of dying in a dungeon to refill it.
what's the question about Terry? Why did he leave what?
So I think that was AsclepiosRod found the front of Skullwoods first, but did not have the small key from the back yet, so he had to go check the other entrance.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, dataplet finding Ganon's tower, I think at Dark Sanctuary.
I don't understand really taking the drop. If that's the case, if the big chest entrance was in the front section, the drop seems a little silly, but I don't know. People can route things however they choose to. I don't know why we're looking for drops. The worst case scenario is this right here, where we end up in the Gibdos, and now we're going to be looking for more drops to save that last key. So it seems like this is bad key management to me.
Yeah, it's probably much better to just go back in the front door and go around to the left side, rather than, yeah, having to hunt through all of these drops until you find the right one.
We did get a Turtle Rock big key back here. Dataplet is heading in this direction now, so he'll be getting that shortly, along with that heart. And is Rod... Oh, now they're going to go through this Gibda room again. Yeah, so they don't use the... They don't lose a key or anything out of doing this. They'll still be able to complete the back of Skullwoods, but it's just a lot more walking to go through this Gibda room again. And who knows when we'll see that big chest opened, if ever.
I'm sure our runners are hoping never.
Oh, we got a hype cave sighting. That's a hype start. Big compass. Ooh, bombs. Rupees. Piece of heart. And powder. Oh, wow. Powder the only actual item of interest there.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure where the magic bat drop down was, so I don't know if that powder is even a little useful progression-wise.
It might be at the pyramid? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, you know, that is right, because well, I didn't see the fairy drop, but I guess that must be in Kakariko.
The useless fairy is vanilla, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I think...
Oh, right, Kakariko was the uncle, maybe? Oh, there's our first glove. That opens up the Kakariko well drops, speaking of drops. So that's at Egina, which is in Village of Outcasts here. Oh, right in Thieves Town. Yeah. Dataplet's going to get that glove very shortly as well.
Yeah, so the seed is definitely giving our runners some very nice items at the beginning. Moon and Pearl and your first glove are really big in Crosskeys. Mirror is the next one on everyone's list, I'm sure. It would be very nice to have.
Oh, Mire is top of my list by far. Yeah, Rod could go back up and check the bottom of Bumper Cave entrance. But they probably want to pair that with some other things. I guess we're not going to go into Pod yet. He's probably going to go and check Digging Game and then return to Pod, I would imagine. You don't leave behind Pod without doing at least the first check. Oh, hey, and there's something practical. First sword at Digging Game.
Yeah, I was about to ask if you'd rather find Mirror or your first sword, but I think still Mirror is the answer.
No, the sword is not even in the top 5.
Oh, this is interesting. AsclepiosRod did not have that Pod small key, which was in Eastern Palace. It is out of logic, so nothing that's going to be behind that key will be in logic just yet, but dataplet might be able to find something interesting in a couple of checks in Pod that he will be able to do extra.
Right. Yeah, that certainly could be a bit of intrigue here soon. Could definitely make up for this slight lead in exploration that Rod has. Yeah, that's our second Vega Tower small, so we're not going to have that for Go Mode at least. Could be a fun boots for Go Mode though, just to open up the tree to get to Ganon.
That's a certain definition of the word fun.
Yeah.
Which, as usual, I assume means fun for us, less so for the runners.
Right. Rod finding the back of desert and is going to go ahead and steal that small key. Could be interesting depending on when we find the front of desert. So yeah, dataplet's now in Pod, and we're about to see more items. No bow and no bottle for either of them. I don't know if dataplet is fluent in mimic clipping at all. I would guess probably not, but I would just expect to see these 2 items here. Oh wow, more hearts. Oh, he's opening the right at least. So now we're going to get to see what the dataplet missed in Mini Moldorm Cave. Not that he's not going to be able to head anything back here. Looks like dataplet is heading out, just walking out because he's got too much health to Death Warp, I guess. So I didn't see anything good in Moldorm Cave. Was there anything there?
Yeah, nothing there really, so dataplet will be probably happy to see that when he gets back there, that he wasn't delayed on finding anything important at least.
Yeah, and nothing good in those 2 checks in Pod either, right? So kind of both runners on even footing for the most part to this point. So now, Rod not immediately going back to the back of or to the Keck well with that glove. Gonna do some other checks first. I wonder if we're gonna see a Zora check pretty soon. If we're heading in this direction. Not sure what the plan is here. The well would definitely be my top priority.
Yeah, there's not really a nice way to sort of get back to the well, unfortunately. So, other than maybe taking that waterfall or the whirlpool warp, fake flippering up again, like you would be going to the witch's hut. So, but Rod's going to use that glove to find the smiths. I swear the smiths are always in the Ice Rod Cave area.
I've seen them ever. Oh, there's our first bow, and it is on the library shelf there in the Ice Rod Cave. And our we got 3 potential returning caves there. That could make for some very interesting routing later. And yeah, Rod is just saving quitting out of there. I want to see them go back to that well, but they are maybe forgetting it for now, or just plan on routing it in later. I'm not really sure what the deal is here. Yeah, so we got the potion shop, the smiths, and the bow in the library all up in the Ice Rod area there.
Yeah, it looks like they're thinking mostly about the other early glove checks.
Dataplet probably feeling a bit relieved in some ways that there was nothing there. Probably would have been pretty annoyed with a mirror, for example. Or another glove.
Okay, so it looks like Dataplet is going to do that fake flipper, head up to the well, and probably also check the vanilla Death Mountain entry cave as well.
Yeah, you pretty much got it when you're in this area. Taking a look at the desert ledge there, and there's a small key. Could be in play later. Oh, Master Sword. That doesn't open up anything immediately. I don't think you need those rupees under those pots there, Dataplet. You've got 1,200 already.
Just saving up for a rainy day. Rod is showing going through Super Bunny, which we've already seen the other end of. Maybe he's just looking to connect back to the north part of the world and do these glove checks on the north side.
Yeah, I think that it's just a question of seems faster to go through here than to walk across the overworld at this point for him. So. And there's our Mire Tower. Well, I would expect 2 checks from Dataplet here, but not doing the whole thing. Not in the dark. Oh, he doesn't even do the second one. Okay. Make me a liar then. It is a little tricky to get that second check done, but it's not as bad as people might think. Rod, unfortunately, did not get the Master Sword before coming in here, which is just going to be really painful, because instead of 1 double spin on these guys, you need 4, because of the way that damage works on ball and chain cards.
And yeah, I think Dataplet is just thinking, mostly he's trying to stay in logic, and it'll be significantly faster to come back later with the lamp and maybe some other upgraded weaponry as well. So yeah, I think that's the decision that he's making there.
Yeah, wow. So Rod with a couple fewer hearts and a lesser sword is going to go ahead and try to check this chest. And so they're going to have to death warp out as well. It looks like they're well on their way to the chest, though. I think he's right there. Just open it. Oh, it's blue mail. They're just going to make the death warp. Oh, it's not really going to change how bad the death warp is. Yeah. Now he's got this this torment here because he wants to go back to the well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Oh,
yeah, it's showing us a dark cave. I think that was the Death Mountain Descent cave.
yeah, nicely done.
Okay.
Not a big reward though. Okay. So Rod is still gonna have to walk all the way back to the well to check that, assuming that is on their mind, and it doesn't look like they're going back there immediately, so that's bad news. They're both going through Hyrule Castle here. Dataplet's gonna get the chest. Yeah, can't blame either for heading up here. We got a sword now that makes the dark room significantly easier.
Yeah, and AsclepiosRod went through here before without Moon Pearl, and so knows going out into the pod area, has a few items to check, as well as a couple other things that he can do now with that pearl in the glove.
Looks like they're in the same room right now. Both having a little trouble finding the chest. Oh, there's the pod key. Rod thought about saving quitting, but still looking for an enemy to damage them. Nope, down to one heart. Let's use a bomb. Oh, okay. Rod wins the race to death.
Weirdly, that blue mail is hurting him there. Yeah, Dataplet just having trouble finding exactly where this treasure chest is.
You might also be a little annoyed that he didn't have that his first time in. That key right there gets us access to another five checks in pod, assuming we hammer jump. Not logically, but for all practical purposes, it gets us there.
And we saw the left Hyrule Castle entrance leads to the very back of Skull Woods. So we will see what AsclepiosRod checks out. I don't think he's been to Dark Sanctuary.
Yeah, and he also did not do the bottom of Bumper Cave, so that's gonna work out fairly well that he didn't come up here like immediately after the glove. He can check these two spots together at least. What would be ideal for him is getting a mirror right here. And then he can do that back of Sanctuary. Or that, the Cackwell drop at Sanctuary at the same time that he does the Dark Sanctuary. Dataplet, that's questionable. Why did you go in there to open it back up if you were not going back in? Anyway.
Yeah, I think he had to have been thinking he wanted to check the left entrance and then thought better of it just in case he got locked out, which we know would be the case. So definitely making the right call there.
Yeah, perhaps he changed his mind. It could be a little tough to get back to Eastern Dark World otherwise. Dataplet having the Moon Pearl and not having to worry about orphaning caves if you find something you can't check is going to go ahead and full clear this area. But meanwhile, we've got Rod in GT. I think Dataplet already found this though, right? This is what the Dark Sanctuary?
Yes.
Okay. Dataplet making use of that fairy room. I thought maybe we saw a desert big key somewhere. Maybe no. I think just the desert map.
Yeah, AsclepiosRod found the back of desert and stole the small key, but we haven't actually found any of the keys yet.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking about the map that we found. So nothing of interest in desert, and Dataplet is just walking out again. Rod is going to go ahead and do a current jump here to get to East Dark World. Didn't get it first try, but they look like they're on the right pixel to me. Just need to get the timing with the bomb.
Yeah, just jumping in a little bit early.
There, you got it. He knows that he left some items behind in East Dark World here, so he wants to go back and get those, as well as probably go to Catfish right now. Well, nothing of interest in East Dark World so far. Oh, hey! First Paradox Cave sighting. I imagine Dataplet is going to head up to Catfish area after he checks the pyramid and such, but yeah, great find for Rod.
Yeah, and this routing could work out really nicely for Rod, depending on because there's that Dark Flute 5 cave that he left behind before, which is of course one entrance to Desert Palace we know now. So he could be in a position to follow those Desert Palace connectors if that's at the end of his route through the Eastern Dark World.
Yeah. Also, speaking of convenient, he just got an 8 bomb drop when he was down to 1, and won't have to worry about if he can bomb jump out here without running out of bombs. And he just found the mitts, so that's pretty nice. Mitts don't usually open as much in Crosskeys as people think, but Dataplet's going after that 20 bucks. You have 1,100 rupees.
We'll be sure to yell at him for that one later.
Catfish just with 10 arrows today.
Ooh, nice connector out of the top of Paradox Cave there, letting out at Tower of Hera. And you see a big key on Spectacle Rock.
Yeah, lots of good info there all at once. We're surely going to be rescuing the old man soon. We'll finally have a different saving quick point to work with. That's probably it, or is it not? Okay, I was going to say, why aren't you just rescuing him? You don't want to have to jump down here again later. Anyone who's qualified for the brackets can surely do it like this in the dark at minimum.
Yeah, especially with a sword, that you can actually track your movement through there.
Yeah, it's not impossible without anything to help track your movement, but it can be tricky, and if you take a wrong turn, then you have no idea where you are. So definitely nice to have a sword or something. Small key to GT. I am sure we'll be seeing more GT at some point in this seed. Oh, we found a kid without a bottle. That's always fun.
And once again, our runners right on top of each other as dataplet also follows that paradox connector.
Yeah, pretty remarkable how similar a lot of the routing has been. They've done some things in different orders, but basically ending up at the same places. The biggest exception right now being that Rod has not done the well at Sanctuary to get his Master Sword, but otherwise pretty much everything is pretty similar here. We did, oh, that's funny. And so the swamp and the dam are both up on Death Mountain here. We don't have the flippers or the swamp small, so we can't really do anything in swamp, but if this was our main obstacle to doing something, it'd be probably more amusing even. I have to imagine we're going to see the Dark World caves here as well, since there's not much else to finish up our route on the mountain with.
Yeah, and I think both of our runners sort of got to the point at about the same time of running out of things to check and having to go find connectors. And so they both kind of wound up in the East Dark World at the same time, and then this was just the logical play to keep following connectors as you find them, especially when it lets out to a fairly lucrative location entrance-wise like Death Mountain.
It doesn't look like we have our next obvious progression in front of us other than those mitts. Well, we've got Skullwoods here, but this is almost certainly something we're going to have to come back to unless we get a fire source in this chest right here.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what those mitts could even unlock right now, and I'm not really thinking of anything. Never mind. Those flippers do give us the Ice Palace entrance now.
Yeah, and that also puts other things in logic like Zora and whatnot. And unfortunately, we don't have mirrors, so we couldn't go immediately back to Swamp and check the first chest. But might want to go back to Swamp with more tools to complete it anyway. Ideally. So Rod is going to go ahead and check the back of the old man immediately and see where that comes out. And it's the waterfall, which is convenient because we can just go straight to Zora.
We'll see if dataplet is willing to spend any of his hoard on Zora's item.
Maybe dataplet has been informed that, like, we get to keep the money that we earn somehow, and he's just ahead of the game on all of us. Oh, Rod went ahead and reset out of that Zora get. That's interesting. That takes a little more time, and I don't know that it's worth saving that money But they only have 600 rupees compared to dataplet's 1100. It's a little bit different, perhaps. Alright, I'm guessing Rod is heading back to the Catwell here. Finally gonna get that that Master Sword out of the back.
Yeah, he could also route this in very nicely and take that whirlpool in that lake a couple screens over and get down to Lake Hylia to do the rest of the flipper checks if he is interested in those at the moment.
Yeah, he sure could do that. Dataplet checking the drained spot. Just some bombs. And dataplet hasn't done these checks in the southwest yet, so gonna see these again.
I was about to say I think that's all 3 Light World maps, but we had not seen the map check yet on dataplet's side. But 3 crystals, A-Rod showing us. And I think both of our runners are going to chase these flippers a little bit. AsclepiosRod is going to let out at Dark Lake Hylia and can go across to the Dark World shopping mall, whereas dataplet's just taking the direct route through the Light World.
Yeah, that's some good routing synergy from Rod there, making that check of the Spiral Cave item, which he still hadn't seen, and getting over to these Dark Lake Hylia checks.
And he actually...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, he actually kind of got distracted by Paradox connecting through to Death Mountain. He still has not been back to the pod area, so he can do that right after these entrances as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was just going to say, if Dark Shopping Mall is anywhere near as interesting as Light Shopping Mall was, then there's going to be something here. And not a good start. Small key to pod, okay. Here in Eastern are 5 and 6 crystals. Those are some pretty easy 5 and 6s. There's a map. We're still in need of those to know which dungeons we need to beat for those crystals. Map of Swamp, okay. I don't think that's one we knew about yet. I think Swamp is a crystal as well. Oh, he's just saving quitting, so he's not gonna go up to pod. I'm not sure what his plan is. There might be a quicker way to the pod area, really. Now that we have quick access to Kakariko, one of these connectors might be better.
Yeah, because it was through Hyrule Castle, right?
Yep.
Hyrule Castle lets out at pods, so I think that's where he is going right now.
That seems to be on his mind. Yeah, I think dataplet swam all the way up to Zora from Lake Hylia, right? So He might be a little annoyed when he checks the back of Old Man later and sees that it was just at the waterfall. Or he's probably already seen the Dark Cave there and he has suspicions, I suppose.
Yeah, so those flippers were pretty promising, but didn't lead to much of anything. There is still that first chest of swamp that's now available. That would be pretty miserable as progression goes.
It would be amusing, though, if the game forced you to Death Mountain and then forced you to come back to Death Mountain again, basically, since there was no way to get back from dark to light. Dataplet is probably going to do the smith chain here, I imagine. So I think Rod's cleared everything out here. Maybe they'll try going through desert again now. I would certainly be interested in seeing a connector to Floating Island, perhaps, and then we can check all of the East Dark Death Mountain locations. Plus, they can maybe death abuse and check this right side of desert, or if they want to really be bold, just go ahead and check it. But that would be a pretty incredible play.
Yeah, this is not the best situation to save Scum here, just because it's such a long walk back here. But if he checks both of the entrances first and they don't lead to much of anything, yeah, trying to save Scum the key with the right-hand side would be a reasonable thing to do.
We're really running out of connectors at this point, though. Beyond desert, we've got Turtle Rock and... Oh yeah, you've got the mitts. Just go ahead and check that stuff. Just don't go to Dark World. Go back in and check that other entrance first, I think, because the chance that it leads to Floating Island is too great, and you're passing that up. It's worth the risk of ending up at Bonk Rocks. And there's a hammer. There is some progress. That in itself also doesn't open up much, just 2 more entrances on the overworld.
Yeah, it gets us proper Dark World access, though, which is definitely convenient to have. Well, proper Dark World access besides just in Kakariko.
Dataplet's gonna go ahead and use the portal to take the smith down here. He doesn't even know. He hasn't been to this area yet, but he is just assuming that the smith is in this area, and he is correct. I think he had it pretty much narrowed down to this point before now. Oh, there's our mirror, and a red mail, and some more bombs. I didn't see what Sahasra said there. It must have, I guess Thieves Town was a green pendant based on the tracker, so... Pretty nice stuff up on Death Mountain here. A hammer and a mirror. That leaves like 90% of the overworld open to us at this point. And he doesn't have to worry anymore about leaving these 2 entrances behind. He can go ahead and check these and then go back into desert and yeah, just use his mirror this time. See if that other entrance of desert leads anywhere interesting.
Yeah, and going back to Dataplet and the Smiths do have to be somewhere in the light world, and they can't be locked by anything but a glove, I think, just to prevent any weird soft locks that you might run into.
Yeah, if there were mid-locked spots on the overworld, then those would be possible as well, but there aren't any. So it is, yeah, glove or bombs is also fine because it's always assumed that you have access to bombs. So, well, interesting. Why is Rod heading backwards, I wonder? I would have expected them to check the right entrance, but they're gonna go ahead and go back to the pod area with their mirror, so maybe heading to the pyramid or mirror on top of the castle. This is an interesting decision.
Yeah, that might be what they have in mind, but I agree. I think it's definitely worth checking the other side.
Oh.
Oh, did they just forget which side was which?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Just had it mismarked or misremembered or whatever. Or not. I don't know what his plan is here. Oh, that's right. That check was orphaned right there, because they walked up to Eastern and they took the connector that went to Bumper Ledge. Would definitely also be interested in seeing that mirror spot at the Bumper Ledge sometime. That might be a little while before we get back there. It's a bit of an awkward check considering that we have to go back to Eastern just for the connector to get there. So dataplet again, following in Rod's footsteps a bit here. Going to surely wind up doing a lot of the same stuff, I would imagine. Oh wait, that was through desert. That was the big key for Rod. So it's a matter of when does dataplet head back there.
So AsclepiosRod found that the right side of desert let out at the race game, which we saw there's just junk on the race game, so we didn't need to grab the item. I think that would have been the time, though, to dive back in, take a quick death, and then save Scum using that small key he stole to see what was on the right side of desert if he wanted to do it.
Yeah, it's not too hard to have a BMOS take us out, considering they're they do a harder damage no matter what. But I can understand it not being a huge priority. Good awareness of connector knowledge, though. Going through Hyrule Castle to get to Pod and then mirroring there to get back to Bumper Ledge, and now they can also do the mirror at the top of the graveyard as well.
And dataplet now is following along those same connectors, so he will likely find his way to East Death Mountain and get all the goodies that are there.
I guess I'm a little surprised that Rod did not go to the top of the graveyard. I don't know what the plan is there. It seemed like the best time to route it in, probably, unless you really want to wait for boots, but I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna get these hammer checks in the village of Outcasts, which we have not seen. So a pseudo vanilla hammer pegs reward there. Single piece of heart, just in a different room. Wonder what Rod's plan with this Smith is going to be. They're going to walk all the way back to that area. Doesn't seem to be a lot of incentive to go back to the Dark Ice Rod Cave area.
Yeah, and nothing, unfortunately, to clean up any of this stuff in the Light World Ice Rod either.
Oh, that's fun. I always like being able to check the hobo from this direction if I can.
Dataplet, I'm sure, does not mind finding that connector from the other side, so won't have to make the long trek back to Dark Bumper Ledge. So it looks like he's also thinking about clearing up some of these mirror checks and hammer checks as well in the village. He could also think about Ganon's Tower while he's in the area. Nothing else is in logic there, but you can do a bit on the left-hand side with a few bomb jumps.
Yeah, pure bomb left side is a pretty big pain. Some people like to do at least the Stalfos room, maybe.
So yeah, I think AsclepiosRod is also going to check these entrances at the Upgrade Ferry and Ice Palace that he had not done before, so he had a little bit more incentive to come back here and finish off the Smiths as well.
Oh, and Ice Palace is vanilla. So that'll be good info once we actually have a way to enter it. Assuming that it's a crystal, it's a 2 out of 3 chance right now that it is a crystal. Yeah, we're again running low on checks. Dataplet is back in pod, which I certainly don't blame him for, but again, nothing here is in logic. It'll be interesting to see if he uses this other key to check the harmless hellway. That is pretty much what I always do when I'm in the back.
Yeah, you could definitely see this going either direction, right? But Dataplet doesn't know that this is a crystal, so he might not be as concerned about saving a small key to be sure that he can beat Helmasaur later. So we'll see what decision he makes. It's usually safe to assume you'll find another pod key without too much trouble, but finding the Cane of Samaria in the dark basement.
Yeah, it's pretty worth it. I don't know what that was. Oh, it was a mushroom, apparently. Alright.
Very heads up from Dataplet there to go up to the mushroom powder spot and see if that was the mushroom that he just found.
Yeah, I think that the website is going to be updating very soon, maybe within the next few days, and they might be implementing a fix where you can see items in the dark when you discover them. So we no longer have these questions about what was that when we get something with a weird palette that doesn't show up in the dark and doesn't have any text. Oh, wow. Wow. Boots are on the purple chest, and dataplet did not do that, and I don't know when he plans on doing that.
I believe he left the purple chest sitting on the doorstep of Pod, so I think the answer is right now.
Oh, yeah. As long as he doesn't have a way to finish it. Okay, so he's heading there. That's good for him. Oh my goodness. I didn't know that he had that with him.
Yeah, this seed has just been trickling out the progression, but boots are always a happy find. Opens up several entrances for us. I think we've seen one of those boots entrances already.
Yeah. I think what are they playing here? Oh, they're just grabbing this big key on top of Spectacle Rock. Makes perfect sense. I would check that first chest in Swamp while I'm here, but I guess we can put that off until next time up Death Mountain. But we've got several entrances over on East Death Mountain that we can check now. We can do this. We can do Turtle Rock, maybe. No, we don't have any medallions. We can use the warp on Turtle Rock and then look at the medallion. And there's our lamp, finally. That puts that cane a little closer to in logic, but it still needs 4 small keys to be in logic, so... Oh. That... We're really trying to get to Turtle Rock, I think. There. Okay, so there's still a small key up on the floating island as well. That's probably going to require going through Turtle Rock at this point. Dataplet gets his boots.
Yeah, and I was about to say that Dataplet finding that cane of Samaria is a really good find, but it opens up precisely nothing at this point because we haven't found Turtle Rock or Misery Mire, either of the dungeons where it's actually required to do anything. Oh, wait, I take that back. It does give us tile room in Ganon's Tower.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And with the lamp in our hand, we could sequence break the whole right side if we're feeling especially ambitious. But we found Thieves' Town up on Death Mountain here. I don't think we've seen anything of interest in the first 2 checks. And we do know that this is green pendant. We do not have either of the keys for the back, so it's like just the front 4 and then mirror out for now. Oh, there's our first bow. Well, and there's our first bow. That is amazing. Good for Dataplet remembering to come back here, I guess. And then making use of the potion shop, too. Man, you gotta use your mirror in that blind side. Oh, a hook shot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just everything good is on Death Mountain this seed.
Yeah, we keep having to come back up here for progression. I think Dataplet tried to open or use that Zora's portal to warp somewhere, and he didn't like it.
Yeah, I think he's going to turn in the mushroom right now and then just swim back down to check the potion shop.
Yeah, not much reason not to turn in the mushroom right away. He probably should have turned in the mushroom before heading to that area and maybe feeling a little regret that he didn't do that. But, oh well. Did he not turn in the mushroom?
Yeah, actually.
Or did he mirror and turn it in?
He did not turn in the mushroom. Yeah, it just looks like he is thinking along the same lines as AsclepiosRod and just wanted to get through this connector to Tower of Hera.
Okay. Dataplet does not appear to be heading back to Swamp either, so... Neither one seems to be too concerned about that first chest. Well, now he's going. And... okay. Alright. Hookshot Cave, perfectly natural place for Rod to be heading. Oh, Bombo's first chest of swamp, that is super relevant. That opens up ice pals for us.
Yeah, and now makes that cane a much more exciting find.
Yeah, we've got a small and a big for ice on both sides, so yeah, that was a big play. That was something that dataplet maybe needed to give him a little bit of an edge here, since Rod's just got a little bit of lead in exploration still.
Yeah, Rod also just found our 4th Palace of Darkness small key, so that means that Cane of Samaria that dataplet found in the back of Pod is in logic now.
Yeah, since we got the lamp, that puts the one that's in Eastern in logic. And of course the lamp was also needed to put the cane in logic since it was in the dark. Dataplet getting his lamp. And he'll surely be getting his hookshot pretty soon as well. This seed is just taking off like back at light speed here now that we've got the boots and the mirror and everything.
Yeah, the hammer was a roadblock to yeah, everything else is coming real fast as dataplet is about to find his hookshot as well in Blind's hut.
So did Rod go through Hookshot Cave? I'm certainly very curious about that that key that's on the floating island, and we haven't seen the floating island yet. I don't think we've seen the other end of Hookshot Cave, so any connector could have a lot of value if that's our Swamp Small, for example.
Yeah, I didn't see if he went through it or not, unfortunately.
Oh, there's another connector. You gotta follow these things. I guess that's fair. Let's go back to the dark world, or the light world, check these, and then once we see that this is nothing, then we'll follow that connector. This is another connector, and Rod has not seen the other end of this, but they might just be heading right back, and then go through that other connector. Not really sure what the plan is here.
Dataplet stopping to collect rupees again.
We didn't see either of them mirror on top of the castle yet, right? I was conjecturing that they had that direction, but I don't think they did.
Yeah, those are both still completely available. Oh, there we go.
It gets his Zors. Hey, whoa, that's a thing. Okay. Speak of the devil. Oh, and there was another connector up there. Where's dataplet going? Do you just want to kill some rhinos? Yeah, he just wanted to kill some rhinos, I guess. I don't know. How do you not jump down the middle? That's interesting. Have we seen the middle?
We've seen the Mitts blocked entrance, so it was kind of one new entrance either way.
Yeah, but you're gonna want to find the connector that goes to here anyway. Like, This is part of finding 2 new entrances. We just have not seen the middle White World Edge. I would.
Yeah,
Anyway.
question in chat. Dataplet did open the portal at Turtle Rock, but did not actually open the entrance. I think probably just forgot that he had bombos, kind of wasn't thinking about it, so we've not seen that entrance yet.
Yeah, that bombos could be a big key right now. That opens up Turtle Rock, and it opens up Ice Palace. I don't think dataplet has actually gone in the Ice Palace entrance yet. I don't believe he saw that ice is actually vanilla.
Yeah, you got to think, though, when he finds that, he will just go ahead and full clear the whole thing.
Yeah, you'd certainly expect that. Dataplet might be heading to Mire and Tower. Oh, he's gonna go to Sahasrara. What was there?
Oh, was this Tower of Hera at Sahasrara?
Okay. Interesting. Oh, he better do the basement if he's coming here now. Or is he just gonna... I guess, if you orphan the basement, then you also have something to come back here with, when you get the big key. So you got 2 checks to come back here for, I guess.
Yeah, that's why it sort of feels odd, though, for him to kind of go out of his way to come back here without the Hera big key. He does find the desert big, so that's a good find.
Yeah, for sure.
And AsclepiosRod is showing us the left side of GT, which is a bit more in logic now with... ooh, finds Fire Rod. The hook shot puts this in logic for sure.
Yeah, with just the boots, only this this chest right here is the only one on the left side that's in logic. But, yeah, Rod can full clear GT minus the big chest in the top, so it will be interesting to see. Oh wait, no, they don't have the cane yet, because that's in pod. Okay. Well, between the 2 runners, you have a lot of ability to do stuff in GT.
Yeah, the key logic restricts what the game is expecting of us out of Ganon's Tower right now, but, you know, who cares about key logic?
Yeah, and key logic can be interesting at times, but not when we're missing so much.
Yeah, and it's just so hard to assume, like, oh, I'm only supposed to have 1 Ganon's Tower key, because they could just kind of be floating out anywhere and totally in logic, and you just don't know where they are yet.
Okay, so dataplet is going to do the basement, which means he's going to orphan that Hera big chest. He did get the desert big key upstairs. We don't know if desert is a crystal. Well, I guess Rod does know that desert is a crystal. Unfortunately for Rod, they didn't pick up their... Oh, hey, another sword in the Hera basement. That's useful. I wouldn't complain too much about that. You know, you expect to be ripped off for your time, I think, so... Oh, a small key to GT in the basement. That's handy if we want to do the right side for it later. Yeah, I was saying, unfortunate that they didn't pick up their silvers before coming here, because now they'll just have to fire away and do this a little slower. But take us down there almost, no problem.
Yeah, I was just about to say that normally when you come into GT with just 1 small key, you want to go right first, because you can pick up an extra small key behind the compass room. But of course, Rod didn't have that choice without the cane, but that small key will bail him out. And was that a trio of small keys in the Ice Armor's chests?
I honestly looked away. Was there anything interesting there?
Desert Small was in there, and then I think it was a pod in a Skull Woods.
Okay. So those are helpful. Looks like Rod is heading back to pod, I think, which is going to get them there. Oh, they're going to desert first and then to pod, I guess. Perhaps. Hopefully. That'd be good routing.
Yeah, it makes sense to grab the right side entrance of desert while you're right there. And the Mire big key on the right side of desert. Oh, I'd forgotten about this small key on the torch as well, just the sewer key, so... Nothing immediately helpful out of that trip.
Alright, we still don't have pod big, but we do have a bow now, so we're going to see this right side of pod for the first time. We still have no bottles, and now we're 30 in. That's pretty impressive. There's 4 of them out there in the world somewhere. What did we see in Hookshot Cave? I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't think...
Ether, I guess.
It's not bad. AsclepiosRod also has Quake. I guess that could also be in here. Yeah, oh yes, that another... 4 pod small.
Yeah, that was useful to have.
Oh yeah, that's right. We had already seen the other end of Hookshot Cave, just at the Dark Lumberjack hut.
Oh, we're getting a check of the pod big key chest as well. It's fun. Are we going to save the keys here so that we can full clear pod potentially with just 4? It requires doing the right side a lot more times.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think AsclepiosRod might actually be at 5 pod keys, because he got that extra one in Ganon's tower, which dataplet is on his way to right now.
I don't think he is. I don't think he's used one. Like that. I think that was his first key that he's used. He came in here the first time with 0, and...
Oh, did he do the right side to get to the middle instead of opening the middle?
Yeah, he hammered out. So dataplet now in GT is gonna get his fire rod.
So yeah, I guess dataplet must have found a Palace of Darkness small that his opponent hasn't.
Yes, the one in Eastern.
Oh, that's right. I was just so unlucky that that's coming back to bite him again.
Yeah, Rod is definitely going out of their way to save that pod small just in case.
And Data is going to show us the right side of GT first, and mirrored out as soon as he found that fire rod.
It's really funny to see this pod basement like fully in logic.
I feel like potting. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Rod's got their cane now. It'd be interesting to see if maybe they head back to GT themselves after this.
I feel like potting Crosskeys has two settings. It's either 100% loaded or total garbage.
Oh, there's that Harabig key. Opening that chest that he left behind. Or unorphaning it, maybe. Then going after that small key, which seems totally unnecessary. Oh, he did the right side first. Okay, never mind. That key is necessary. Okay. To keep the upstairs a possibility. Wait, what is he doing? Oh, did he get the GT big key?
No, he just went to DM's, got the fire rod, and then went right.
Okay, he left this chest before. Okay, I see what you're saying. Gotcha. Okay, now he'll be out of keys. He did need that key, for sure. Just either that or you would have had to skip that other room. Getting the key made plenty of sense. Okay, now we're seeing Ice Palace.
So AsclepiosRod is set up now to do the icebreaker door state extension for the purists in the audience.
Pretty nicely done. Took a couple tries to get it set up, but after that, really smooth. Well, I wonder if, oh man. So Rod probably didn't turn in that mushroom that they got yet, did they? It seems like being at Ice Palace would be a good time to head over towards the potion shop and check that, and also get those silvers off of the library shelf. But yeah, I doubt that they've turned in that mushroom yet.
Yeah, they haven't done it. It wouldn't be too bad to just take the whirlpool up and be a little bit out of the way to walk back from the Ice Palace whirlpool. But
yeah, since they're in the light world, they would have to do the whirlpool south of Link's house, I guess. So the Dark World whirlpool would be a bit more convenient.
And now we're going to see Dataplet turning in that mushroom.
Maybe regretting not turning it in when he walked right by the earlier, but well, apparently he's got a destination in mind here either way. We don't have a flute yet, so this is our easiest way to the Dark World by far. I wonder where Dataplet is headed here. Biggest thing we're missing, well, biggest things, I guess, Eastern Big, Swamp Small. Is that it? And Pod Big. Oh, we're about to find out. Actually, I think we have everything else we could need.
Yeah, AsclepiosRod has found the Mire Big. I forget where exactly that was, but...
That was the right side of desert. Oh, there's our Swamp Swamp. Nice. So I would be heading to Swamp Palace if I were in those shoes.
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to say that Ice Palace was not really paying out, but the Swamp Small and a Crystal is definitely going to make you happy you made that trip.
So it looks like Dataplet was on a crusade to redo things that he forgot just now. Turning in the mushroom, checking the Turtle Rock entrance, and not jumping down the middle. Not necessarily forgetting the last one, but opting not to do it. And that's where the quake was. So Dataplet has a full medallion set. Oh, interesting to note that the Bombos was in the first Just a Swamp, and the small key to Swamp was behind Cold Stare, so it's possible that logically Bombos was the intended method to open up Swamp by going through ice with Bombos. Either way, the Fire Rod was also available in GT, and that was probably in Logic too.
Right, so things are looking pretty close here. Dataplet does just have this Ice Palace clear, and then we expect him to be into Swamp Palace right afterwards once he finds that small key. But I think since AsclepiosRod is just behind a trip up Tower of Hera, which with Herapot goes extremely fast when you're in go mode, I would give him a little bit of an edge right now, assuming that we can find those last couple of keys and locations that we need sort of along the path here.
Yeah, for sure. But I think Rod's been ahead most of the race, really. Just leaving behind some minor things here and there that he's had to go back and pick up, but nothing unrecoverable. Nicely done by Dataplet as well. It's pretty quick. Oh, it looks like Rod is setting up for the... Oh, looks like they screwed up the bomb setup just a little bit. But the diver down glitch right here. So that they have to time that bomb so that it goes off as the door opens, basically, but it's not going to hit the switch or trigger the switch until they re-enter that room through this other doorway here. And there it goes. And left side of swamp is a disappointment today. Never feels good to go over there and get nothing for it.
Yeah, and we're getting late enough in the race that dataplet might think about skipping it. With only a couple of small keys left, it's really mostly entrances that seem to be the problem with Mire and Turtle Rock.
Yeah, we do definitely still need that Eastern big key. Oh, which was not that. That would have been great, but that's a key we don't really want to see at this point. That GT big climbing GT could certainly be in our future. Or going back for that big chest. It's nice for Rod that they haven't done the right side of GT yet, I don't believe. So yeah, the right side of GT I think is... Oh wait. I'm getting something messed up. I don't remember what was on the right side of GT. If there was anything. But they can pair that, doing the right side of GT with the big chest. And that's a flute. That's could be pretty important. That puts the whole Mire area in logic. I don't think we've seen a single bit of it yet.
Yeah, there was also a small key on Desert Ledge, but I think we're at the point where that can't be anything too interesting.
Now, I think at this point, the only keys that are left are keys that can just be logically required, as far as small keys go.
Yes, Breve in chat also reminding us that the Hera Big was on the right side of GT, which again is not strictly required with Herapot now, but...
Oh yeah, that's the key I was thinking of. I'm pretty sure the Desert Big Key was upstairs of Terra. It's not marked on dataplet's track. You know what? I can do that. I'm confident enough. I'm gonna...
Yes, I'm backing you up on that one. That's where that Desert Big Key was. And yes, a question in chat about will they need one more big key. Dataplet might need to find the Mire big key, but we're not sure where the last crystal and pendant are. So that one might not actually be required to finish the seed. And that Mire Small is available to him on the right side of Desert Palace.
Got a quality shovel drop from Argus there. Dataplet heading into swamp right after Rod gets out. Nope. Going to Sikid instead. Going to run around the mountain, and then we'll get into swamp. I imagine that Rod is over on his way to open up the Turtle Rock entrance. and then they'll probably go and activate that flute.
Yeah, Rod has also seen Mimic Ledge and all the entrances there, so he might also still have this drop down to the Light World Fairy Cave entrance.
The middle ledge and Death Mountain there, East Death Mountain. I'm sure he did that.
I know dataplet did it. I don't remember if AsclepiosRod did or not.
Yeah, they did it a long time ago.
Oh yeah, I see. It's definitely marked off their trackers. So
that's where the Quake Medallion was. In Mimic Cave.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah, this is gonna start at the old man and activate that flute, and then head straight to Mire, I could imagine. Or he could go turn in the mushroom and then go to the potion shop first. That would make some sense too. We also don't have a bottle. It'd be nice to have a potion or a bottle when you go to the potion shop so you can put something in there. But we don't necessarily need one. Unless we're gonna have a Master Sword fight, I'd like to have something in a bottle. Again. I'm sure dataplet's not thrilled about the GT big key either. Where are we heading here? Oh, the shovel spot. Sure, makes sense. I think a lot of people who play this don't know that you can quick swap between items that are on the same item slot by pushing L and R together. Because they always go to the menu to swap over.
Yeah, actually getting used to quick swapping is an underrated skill when you start playing Crosskeys.
You have to imagine that Rod's still going to grab this key, even if they don't technically need it. A pod key. That saves us time, at least, when we have to go back in the pod. We can just open the middle door to get to the boss. And here is our Mire. So we're about to find out what our last crystal is, I guess. It'd be kind of nice to do, like, Laser Bridge before doing all of Mire, I would say. And maybe everything we need is on Laser Bridge, but I don't know. I could see an argument for just clearing this right away, or an argument for looking around the Mire area some more first.
Yeah, at the very least, I would be tempted to just go straight to Vitreous, because if he drops the pod big key or the Eastern big key, then that's really nice, and maybe you can skip some of this full clear of Mire. But I think with two big keys left that you're really looking for, maybe that's not so much on his mind at the moment. And I guess you could make the same argument in the other direction, like what if you leave Mire but you find the front of Turtle Rock, right? Then do you walk all the way through it to Laser Bridge before doing Mire? Who knows?
Well, we can't get from the front of Turtle Rock to the Laser Bridge. We've only got 2 small keys, so...
Ooh, good point.
I do hope you attempt it on Wednesday, though.
I probably will, don't worry.
Wow. A book at the Mire Big Key location.
Just what we wanted, some more fetch quests.
Yeah, those aren't really convenient at all anymore, those book locations. So nice fight by dataplet cleaning that up, although he does have silvers too, so I don't know why I didn't just use that. Was there a sword in Hera?
Yeah, Hera.
Oh, it was in the Hera basement, that's right. Yeah, I would not expect Rod to get that sword, but we'll see what happens. There could very easily be another sword on the way. Why are we going this way? I don't understand. Just go to the boss. Come on. Did they look at their item count and decide that it was wrong and then remembered, oh yeah, that's right, we do this thing here. Okay. Everything seems to be okay.
Yes, we recovered there. Found the bottle in the spike chest, so that means there's 2 fetch quests together up on Death Mountain, which might make that ether tablet a little bit more appealing, since you can route in Sick Kid as well.
Yeah, nice. And now that we have the flute, we can flute directly to the spot where the Sick Kid is, I guess. Though the connector to Hera is more appealing for checking ether. Oh, is this some spooky action we got going on here? At least, yeah. Looks like they got it eventually.
Yeah, it was a little bit too low on the screen when he hit the spike with the fire rod shot, so I had to run up for the hit to actually register, but...
Yeah, got the 3. And still does not have silver arrows, so we are stuck with a undesirable vitreous fight here. This is not great. Silvers would make this so much better. I wonder if they're even thinking about that. Man, could have routed in that mushroom drop-off with that flute and everything, but instead we are doing this over and over again. Dataplet's going to save a lot of time when he gets to this point. Presumably he's going to end up doing the same thing for clearing Mire as well. At this point, I would finish up this with some arrows.
Or at the very least, switch to that blue cane that he just found. It's a little bit laggy, but definitely would have been faster to just kind of stand there and slash like crazy.
Yeah, perhaps. Could have been. Would have been easier for sure. Oh, that's our pendant, so that means Sherlock is our last crystal. We'll likely be seeing Sherlock completed as our last crystal very quickly. Depends. It's likely in Assyria, and it's just a matter of which entrance do we see. This is good. We can get to the boss from here, so I would expect go straight to the boss from here. Don't even worry about anything else. Oh, I said don't worry. Fine. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, the only other consideration would be if you go to the boss, it's going to spit you out at the main entrance, wherever the heck that is, but not really a concern since we can always just flute back to the Mire area very easily. So you wouldn't even be losing access to those entrances that you were in the process of checking.
Yeah. I don't see much appeal to doing this first. These checks are much slower than Laser Bridge would be. And even if you're terrible at laser skips, I mean, you've got a mirror shield and a cane if you want to use that, and have magic. And boots. I don't know. I don't think there's a whole lot of argument for going this way first.
Yeah, the only upside is that if he then goes to defeat Trinex, he can check the front of the front 3 chests after getting warped back to the front entrance of the dungeon, and then everything will be completely done. But yeah, I agree that you sort of want to hope that you don't have to check absolutely everything.
What are you doing? No, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. This is a terrible use of your key. Laser Bridge might not be accessible, and then if you use your key here, you're going to put yourself in Turtle Rock small key go mode. That's not good. Like, you could have checked the front just by going to Trinex and killing him, and that would spit you out at the front, unless the front is at GT or something, but this is a really big gamble.
Yeah, because even if Laser Bridge is accessible, I mean, he's probably going to spend this, he's going to mirror back to the big chest entrance and spend the small key to get to Laser Bridge, is what he's thinking right now.
What is going on right now? I guess he started pushing down a little too early. Maybe getting a little tense. Oh man, is this where dataplet takes over the lead in this race? He does have a tempered sword as well. You know what? The fact that what is going on? Oh my goodness! I think dataplet might be ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I also missed a little bit of what dataplet did in Misery Mire, but he seems to have resisted the urge to... Oh, he didn't finish Misery Mire because he doesn't have the big key yet.
Oh, that's a huge lucky thing for him. Unless something we need is on the pedestal, then, wow. So dataplet probably ahead right now, unless pedestal is required. Then, Rod is ahead. And of course, Rod still has to go back and do Hero at some point.
Crosskeys is such a weird mode. Dataplet's getting ahead a little bit because of his superior routing choices in Turtle Rock. Have to give him credit for that. But also a little bit by just not having done the right side of Desert yet, and so didn't have the Mire big key to get baited into finishing a pendant dungeon.
I wonder if dataplet is going to check this exit. I don't see much upside to checking it at this point. The only real thing that's of interest from exiting there is the use your hookshot or something. It's fine. There's a small key on the floating island, but we don't need that small key. There's not really any relevant small keys out there. Wait, what? What are we doing?
Yeah, I'm not sure what AsclepiosRod is doing at this point either.
That makes no sense. This is way slower than just mirroring and... yeah, there you go. Just use your flute. It's fine. Maybe he's thinking he took a connector to Turtle or to Mire area and he doesn't want to go back. I don't know.
I think maybe he was thinking of going back and checking the left exit, the laser eye exit, to see where that led out, but yeah, thought of a much faster way to get back to there if that's what he really wants to do.
I don't know. He's played this for the most part fairly well until these last few minutes when he's made some very questionable routing choices in Turtle Rock here, so...
And yeah, big find for dataplet, finding the Eastern Palace big key, one of our required big keys.
Yeah, that's nearly go mode for dataplet. He just needs the pod big key, and he is all set. We are going to see the front to Turtle Rock check, can't blame him for that. Wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't do anything else in Mire right now. Maybe just head straight back to Eastern to clean that up. And by in Mire, I mean the Mire area. Yeah, I guess for people who don't play a lot of entrance shuffle or cross keys, the routing in Turtle Rock might not be obvious. But if you get a few seeds under your belt, then it seems obvious what you would do there.
So question in chat, the front of Turtle Rock, yeah, is the dead entrance, the right exit of the front of Desert. So cannot use that to get back to Laser Bridge easily, unfortunately.
I mean, that would require 4 keys anyway, so that's... We'd be another key short on Turtle Rock requirements for on Rod's side. Yeah, dataplet is heading to Eastern. Isn't Eastern the other entrance? No, that's right. It's this one because they checked the other one first. I checked the right entrance first out of habit. Oh, dataplet doesn't have the blue cane yet. Couldn't do the fun cannonball dash straight.
Alright, so here comes AsclepiosRod's other Turtle Rock small key.
They are almost certainly going to be kicking themselves, I would imagine.
The damage is definitely done at this point.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just realized I made a comment before that was based on misunderstanding or mixing up the Turtle Rock entrances, but yeah, whatever. Now, Rod is probably going to go right back to Mire and finish up Turtle Rock. Oh my goodness.
Are you kidding me? Oh, okay.
Nope. We are. Yes, we are kidding you. What are you doing, Rod? Where are you going? Just go kill Trinex. This key doesn't interest you. You don't need it. Just go back in. Go back in and kill Trinex. You can do that right there. That's like, I don't know what's going on anymore. Sorry. Just getting a little stressed out by this routing. Maybe 2 hours is the limit for Rod's routing. Oh, dataplet is finally going to get his Mire big key. If he gets tempted into going back into Mire, that could be big for Rod.
And he very well might, because I'm not sure what his map situation is.
Yeah, I'm not sure what knowledge he has either. He must have the desert map for sure. I think he just needs to do a map check at the most.
Yeah, because... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I remember the desert map being really accessible.
Yeah, I think it was in the well, because I think 2 of the Light World maps were in the well. And dataplet just hadn't checked it by the time he found the bomb shop and learned about the red crystals, so...
Desert back. I don't remember. But it seems that they've both found it based on the tracker. The way the tracker works, for those who don't know, well, you can see they found all dungeons at this point, but before they've found a dungeon, it will just say, it will have the letters of the dungeon in the dungeon's place, and then after they've found the dungeon, the tracker will click something that will make it have the silhouette of the boss there instead. Yeah, there you go. Tracker demonstrating for us. Oh, it makes perfect sense that dataplet, even without having the map, if he didn't, he would want to finish Desert before Mire, I would assume. Much faster to do this first, so... Yeah, this is a check we haven't seen yet. The Desert Big Key is in Hera, so Rod still needs to do Hera to get that. Yeah, dataplet is well in the lead at this point. The only things that can really slow him down are doing things that Rod has already done, like finishing Mire. I wouldn't be surprised if climbing GT is the answer at this point.
Yeah, we've hit the point in the seed where there are nothing left to do but one-off checks. Looks like dataplet is going to chase the book a little bit and show us the Bombos tablet. All we're looking for Go Mode is the Palace of Darkness big key at this point.
Oh no, wait, what? Oh, that's right, okay. I was thinking that maybe Rod was back in Eastern without the big key, but no, they're just doing this check that they missed, and then they'll go back to the big chest, I guess. Not sure why dataplet is doing this. Oh, he's going for these 2 back checks. Okay, no, that makes perfect sense. So again, this is something that'll help out Rod just a little bit. I think the ideal place for that pod key and for Rod's purposes is probably the Hera Big Chest, because dataplet's not going to go back for that.
Yeah, that is a hard last location for dataplet. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else we have seen. Spike Cave, but no one's done it because we just found our invincibility items relatively recently. Skullwood's Big Chest, I guess, is available. I'm trying to think. Also, just for comedy's sake, our runners are also going to have to go back and do Aga Tower at some point.
Yeah, and that's probably a little more appealing for dataplet because he left an item there, which is where the red mail is. Not the smoothest Starmos fight, but he takes it down and gets his Skullwood's Big. And this is great news for Rod that dataplet is going back into Mire.
Yeah, with that big key now, he's got 2 items left in here.
Oh, I just realized how funny of a place that is for that blue cane.
Yeah, just a color change.
More amusing than a vanilla cane, even, perhaps. Alright. Rod is finally doing the Hera pot in Hera. That big chest is the biggest point of interest in this whole seed right now, I think. Just fall down, it's okay. No, don't fall down there. Oh, well, whatever. You have the hook shot in. Wait, oh, they don't have the big key yet, because they haven't done right side of GT. Oh my goodness, they're both orphaning it. Alright, never mind then. Well, it's certainly a point of intrigue still, but just for different reasons now. Oh, well, that's not helpful. So, at this point, after dataplet finishes Mire and Rod finishes Hera, they're gonna have the exact same chest done, basically, exact same checks done in the whole game, I think. If Rod goes to the Hera basement, I think that will be like 100% the same. Can't think of anything else.
Yeah, did dataplet do the rest of these entrances in the Mire area? I feel like he might have done what you suggested and just beeline straight for Eastern Palace after getting that big key.
Yeah, I don't think he did. That might be next on his list. But if Rod is going to go back in and do the Hera basement, those will take about the same amount of time, so they'll be essentially tied. Oh yeah, GT right side is all checked. That's right.
I think this is the point where dataplet is probably looking around his tracker, trying to give himself excuses not to start climbing GT. But it feels like that's the answer right now.
Oh, we are getting a big bomb delivery on the right side. I don't know what entrances of real note are still out there. Trying to think. Like, we've seen Hype Cave, we've seen Mini Moldorm,
we've seen Blind Hut,
we've seen Sassrola,
we've seen Hookshot. and Paradox. So yeah, all the big item caves are gone.
Even the little ones. We've seen both of the fairy caves. We've seen the Mire hut, I think. It's just not a whole lot out there that this could possibly lead to. But, I mean, if there is a single item cave out there that has that big key we need, then this is a probably game-winning play right here. So
I'm also going to predict that before we finish this seed, our runners will find the Thieves Town big key and get trolled by it. Although that might also lead to the odd big key in the back of Thieves Town.
I mean, really what's going to happen here is we're going to climb GT. What's the GT drop?
Magic Bat. Ooh, one item here behind the big bomb for AsclepiosRod.
Oh, of course. This is what we were looking for, is the Cuckoo Hut. Oh, heart. Okay, slowly catching up on hearts with dataplet. 16 versus 17 now. Yeah, so we're going to climb GT, get our Thieves Town big key at the Magic Bat, and then in the back of Thieves Town, what are we gonna get? We don't have any fun fetch quests left, so basically the pod big key has to be on the pedestal at this point. Yes, you can. It's super easy to do.
All you have to do is bonk against the bottom wall and hold left when you land on the rails, so. You can also bomb jump across that gap even without hookshot or red cane. That's a little bit trickier. It's kind of like the Spectacle Rock Cave lineup. You have to sort of nudge against the wall in just the right way.
I think that was our first sight of Ether, but it's just our last Turtle Rock Small, so nothing of interest to us now would have been of interest to AsclepiosRod a little while ago, perhaps, but Rod has to do the back of Desert yet, I guess.
And yeah, I was just thinking about back of Skull Woods that we've got one item sitting on Mothula, and of course, pointing us toward that pedestal dream that we all have.
I feel like dataplet's GT small count is not correct. He might even have all 4 of them. So I guess Skullwood's final check ahead of Rod at the moment. Pet seeds are a lot more likely in Crosskeys or any Q sanity mode, just because there are so many more items that can be required. There's Thieves down there. Well, that's an interesting point of debate, because that only opens up 1 spot logically, but it opens up 3 spots that are much faster to do than the top of GT. So do you want to go to GT and do all that, and maybe just get your Thieves Town small key to put all of Thieves Town in the back of Logic, or do you want to go to Thieves Town and orphan the big chest and have to return to that later? That's your debate right now.
And AsclepiosRod does have the Thieves Town small key.
Oh.
I don't know if dataplet has it and it's just not marked, or if he has not found it yet, but I cannot think of where that was.
Yeah, he might have it, I'm not sure. Dataplet is heading to Thieves Town. This is going to Thieves Town. I don't think we know what Thieves Town small is. It might be in his hand. We'll mark it if it is.
Looks like AsclepiosRod also headed toward Thieves Town. Can save himself the climb by skipping over it.
You know what would be quite a play is not doing blind. Just going to the big chest and then saving blind for later. Potentially. The big chest is a faster climb check than blind. Though killing blind does open up 2 checks, since we don't know what's on the pedestal yet.
Yeah, and I've never seen anyone save scum the Thieves Town small key, but I guess you could do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go that far, I think. That's a little time consuming. But, perhaps. Oh, pod right side. Yeah, dataplet hasn't returned for that yet. He didn't have a bow or a bottle. The first bottles didn't show up until after an hour, 30 minutes or so in this seat. I think going straight to the big chest here would be a really fun play. But the pedestal is too tempting. That's probably going to keep anyone from the big chest.
Yeah, pedestal and green pendant as well.
Oh yeah, true.
But this does mean the Thieves Town big chest is now another spot that could slingshot AsclepiosRod into the lead if that happens to have our pod big key.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be pretty much game over, I think. As long as they can competently do a Master Sword Ganon fight, assuming that's how we finish. They will have silvers, of course. But it's really down to these checks that are in Thieves Town and resulting from Thieves Town, and the GT climb, and that's it. Or and we didn't see the GT big chest either, did we?
We have not seen that. That's correct.
Just a fairy in a bottle from Sahasrara.
Interesting that dataplet is resisting just a map in the Thieves Town big chest, but is resisting dipping back into Palace of Darkness, probably betting that the big key is not just there under the mat, but anything's possible at this point in the seed.
It could be that he's metagaming a little bit and assuming that his opponent would have finished if the pod big key was so easily accessible. Alright, don't take out that book, just pull it. And it's a map. I hope it is a GT map. Oh, a Thieves Town map. Pretty sure we would have known what Pendant or Crystal Thieves Town was. GT map would have been the best, because that would have given us some guidance on where we need to go. Help show us the way. I can't think of anything else that dataplet hasn't done. Rod is about to go and do Skullwoods, I think. Not really sure. Why didn't they just mirror and flew to go into Skullwoods, but this is fine. Oh, I guess Skullwoods is in the Dark World. Never mind. This is good. Oh, we got the Skullwoods big chest left to do too. Nice. Good confirmation that you didn't miss any checks there. Yeah, green pendant turning got us a fairy in a bottle.
And yes, just the trip over to Ganon's Tower now. Let's see, do you do the big chest before you do the climb? I think I would.
I would not. The odds are definitely in favor of being upstairs. I mean, it's all dungeons because both of them happen to route it this way, but if this were a bigger race, I guarantee that, you know, someone probably half the field would have finished by now. People are too good at this, and people love making gambles to climb up GT and stuff, so I doubt that this would have been a last location for everyone.
I'm also still a little surprised that dataplet has not gone back to Aga Tower, since there is one chest in there, but he might be metagaming that one also.
Yeah, there's not really much reason to put off Aga Tower, because it's not like you want to finish at the pyramid. You're still going to have to get back to the lumberjack tree after you do Aga, so he might have sort of forgotten that as well. Yeah, I don't think there's much argument for delaying that. Anyway, we know he's in the right spot now, I'm pretty sure. Rod also heading into GT. It seems like there's pretty much no way he can make up this time difference at this point without dataplet making some major error. Like if dataplet had a despawn in a GT upstairs or something, that could help. But Rod is also down a sword, so Obviously, he would love to see a sword.
Yeah, he's also got checks on the right side of GT to still do.
Yeah, that's true. He's probably going to end up going all the way to the big chest, too. Oh, the Tower of Hera big chest is still at large for both of them. Oh my goodness.
That would be truly incredible.
Maybe they're each assuming that the other player's not going to leave it behind, or they're just like, you know, it has to be upstairs GT. It'll be interesting to see if they clear this GT and it's not here, will they know exactly where to go, or will they be sitting and thinking for a second? Well, not a whole lot going on upstairs GT so far. We still have the magic bat at the drop. That's not where the drop is, dataplet.
Did AsclepiosRod just accidentally mirror out there as well and then remember the big chest?
I don't know that they're even considering the big chest, but they definitely skipped the tile room the first time in, so... I'm not sure what their thoughts on the big chest are. Oh, there it is.
Wow. I just want to know where these seeds were in the qualifiers, because I was definitely one of those people gambling on GT climbs and only finding like a logically required pod key or something dumb like that at the top.
I don't know. I had a pod big key on the pedestal 1. I had a pod key, big key on pedestal 2 cross-key seeds in a row for myself.
So AsclepiosRod is going to chase that Hera big key that he just found. Which I think from a meta perspective kind of makes sense. At this point in the seed, you know that this last big key has to be in a spot that could be someone's last location, and Tower of Hera Big Chest is certainly that.
Having a little trouble finding the pixel here. That looks like it might be right. Nope. Yeah, with this check right here, the only check in the game that we'll have not seen is the magic bat, I think. Well, and the big chested pod. So, between magic bat, big chested pod, and Helmasaur here, there's one sword left. Not sure if this could fill up dataplet's hearts either. Oh, is that our third or fourth bottle?
Is dataplet forgetting that he hasn't done Ega 1 yet?
He sure is.
Oh, maybe he's just taking a connector there.
Oh.
I don't even remember where it is at this point.
Never mind. Oh, this would be super convenient if you could just, like, mirror out after killing Ega 1 and not end up on the pyramid. I was not thinking where Ega 1 was either. I was thinking it was in a different spot. Can't imagine that dataplet is going to check this chest here. It's too much walking to the other side of the room to be worth it. Oh, Rod is finally doing the desert big chest.
And AsclepiosRod is accepting his fate and heading back to climb Ganon's tower now.
I wonder, the dataplet must have thought he had the hook shot equipped there. I don't think he's shooting this arrow at Ganon, hoping maybe to get some early damage on his Ganon fight.
And the 15 Dream still alive. And I believe that makes 5 the winner in the AGA 1 guessing game.
Yeah, sub 3 hype. Nicely done by dataplet getting the trident spin there. And with the cape, that makes an easy 1-in-1.
And get your GGs in chat for dataplet.
And Rod, unfortunately, going into go mode at exactly the moment that dataplet finishes.
It's an official time in race time of 2:46:53.
They also still have to go to AGA 1 after doing pod, so dataplet will not be joining us in voice for an interview, but he will be in chat in just a couple of minutes to answer all of your burning questions. More guide, that was the pattern of shots that Ganon won chat.
And making quick work of the pod basement here. And with his 7th crystal, AsclepiosRod just has to defeat Aga and then go on to the Ganon fight. Just not the Aga that's normally referring to.
Getting a quick fast forward to the credits. 50 flute, 106 mirror. 32-minute first sword is acceptable. Probably about average. Four deaths, presumably all intentional. $197. I am a little curious whether they'll have the exact same checks done at this point.
I think AsclepiosRod is actually likely to have a couple more, right? Because I mean, dataplet skipped that second chest in Agate Tower, or several things in Palace of Darkness that Rod went back to.
Oh yeah, that's true.
As we see dataplet in chat there, that would sort of be my main question: is leaving behind those few checks in Palace of Darkness when you were still looking for the pod big key. Because I feel like I would have been very tempted to do those before climbing GT.
Yeah, our presumption maybe was that dataplet maybe metagamed a little and figured that if that was where the pod big key was, then your opponent would have finished a lot sooner. Which is probably the case. But I don't know if that's something that dataplet was thinking about, or... Yeah. Yep, fair enough. Yeah, we noticed you doing some things like picking up 20 rupees on the pyramid ledge when you already had over 1,000 rupees. Yeah, I guess you don't get to anywhere close to 216 without putting in the hard work.
Yeah, picking up things like useless items on race game and just compasses lying out in the open, that sort of thing. AsclepiosRod breaking out the swag net for a proper AGA 1 fight.
I don't know if there's really a whole lot of questions I have for dataplet. It was definitely an interesting race to watch, though, and you guys were doing a lot of the same stuff and kind of following each other all over the place. You both orphaned the hair a big chest, but Rod did go back for it.
And yeah, I feel like that was sort of the big differentiation point kind of in the middle of the race, was when dataplet went to Hera first, just a couple of minutes before going back up Death Mountain through that connector to Tower of Hera, which led to so much stuff after the hammer and all of that. Whereas I think AsclepiosRod got a little bit ahead there, but then of course had to go back into Tower of Hera later regardless.
Yeah, they still, even though they had all the access to, they didn't do right side before going back to Hera, so they didn't have the Hera big key the first time in. Interesting route to get to Ganon here. Gotta say, I approve of dataplet's route to get to the lumberjack area. I suppose one nice thing about both of you putting off egging him for last was that it's just less time that you had to deal with the post-Ega 1 overworld. Nope. That does not get the trident spin, so I have a 2-cycle on Ganon. Why are we down here? Ganon is giving us the free opening to the top. I guess maybe trapping yourself in the behind the bats is bad if you're doing NMG strats because you don't want to be taking hits from bats in MMG.
But yes, Rod is through to the third phase, so should be a quick few more hits and a few silver arrows to finish out the seed. And very nicely done from AsclepiosRod there. Get your GGs in chat for him. And this is a good time to remind you to give both of these runners a follow as well. Putting out some great content and definitely worth a follow.
It looks like AsclepiosRod is not going to join us for an interview. He has some things to take care of. So I think that's about going to do it for us tonight, unless anyone else had any final thoughts. My final thought is you should all go watch some Zelda 1 Randomizer over on Speed Gaming because it's the winners finals of our random percent tournament and it's going to be crazy. But, yeah. Did you have anything cool pop about?
Only one more shout out to our trackers, Valady and Terry J. Thank you very much for keeping us in line, and Ricky of Kokiri, our restreamer, for setting everything up for us.
No worries. Alright then. Well, with that, thank you all for watching. Follow the runners. Thank you, AsclepiosRod and dataplet for an awesome race. I put the links in the chat to follow their Twitch channels. Thank you to our commentators, Jay Coper and Cool Papa Bell 2282 did an awesome job commentating. And again, thank you to the tractors, Validity, I think I said that wrong completely, and Terry J for keeping the tracker updated. As well, on the schedule, we have plenty more races coming up in the tournament. It's just a question of whether we can get them restreamed on the channels with the volunteers we have. But you can check the schedule in the chat to see what's coming up. And as of right now, we're pretty much done for the night, I believe. Furry, me, and Iker are doing a race on their own channels. You can check them out if you wish. You can check out the Speed Gaming channel for that Zelda 1 match that Jay Coper was talking about. And with that, we're going to call it a night. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a great time and have a great day. Bye!